Imagine sitting alone at night, scrolling on your phone, and without even thinking, your hand reaches for a packet of chips or a sugary drink. It feels automatic, almost harmless. But what if I told you that in that very moment, your brain is being silently reshaped? Not metaphorically. Literally, this is not just about diet, this is about control. About how modern food is engineered to bypass your awareness and directly influence your brain chemistry. Let's start with something simple. Your brain is built to survive, not to resist modern temptation. For thousands of years, sugar, salt, and fat were rare and valuable. So when you consume them, your brain rewards you heavily with dopamine, a chemical linked to pleasure and motivation. Now, here is the problem. Junk food does not just trigger this system, it overwhelms it. Every bite of ultra-processed food creates a dopamine spike far beyond what natural food would produce. At first, it feels amazing. But your brain is smart. It adapts. It reduces sensitivity. This means you need more food to feel the same pleasure. This is how tolerance begins. And slowly, what started as a snack becomes a necessity. But the deeper issue is not just craving. It is control over behavior. Studies show that highly processed foods can weaken the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision-making, discipline, and impulse control. At the same time, the emotional centers of the brain become more reactive. So when you feel stressed, bored, or tired, your brain no longer suggests balance. It demands instant relief. Food becomes emotion regulation. And that is exactly where the industry steps in. Look at any fast food advertisement. The colors are brighter than reality. The sounds are sharper. The food looks exaggeratedly perfect. None of this is accidental. It is designed using psychological triggers that activate desire before thought even begins. Even textures are engineered. The crunch of chips, the fizz of soda, the melt of chocolate. Every sensation is tested and optimized. You are not just eating food. You are experiencing a carefully constructed stimulus. Now let's go deeper. Your gut and brain are connected through a powerful communication network known as the gut-brain axis. When your diet is dominated by processed foods, the balance of bacteria in your gut changes. This affects not only digestion, but mood, anxiety levels, and mental clarity. In simple terms, your thoughts are being influenced by your stomach. And this creates a cycle. You eat junk food to feel better. It temporarily boosts dopamine. Then your energy crashes. Your mood drops. You feel tired or anxious. And your brain asks for the same food again. This is not weakness, this is looped conditioning. Another hidden effect is inflammation. High sugar and processed fats can increase inflammation in the body and brain. Over time, this is linked with fatigue, brain fog, and even reduced cognitive performance. This is why many people feel mentally slow without realizing food is part of the reason. But there is something even more concerning. The modern food environment is constant. You are surrounded by snacks, ads, delivery apps, and instant access to highly palatable meals. Your brain never gets a break from temptation. This is called cue overload, and it makes self-control significantly harder. Every notification, every advertisement, every smell from a nearby restaurant is a trigger, and your brain reacts before your awareness can intervene. However, there is hope. The brain is not fixed. It is adaptable. This property is called neuroplasticity. When you reduce processed food and begin eating whole natural foods, your dopamine system slowly recalibrates. Cravings decrease. Energy stabilizes. Mental clarity improves. But this process takes time. In the beginning, you may feel discomfort. Withdrawal-like symptoms such as irritability or cravings are normal. This is your brain adjusting, not failing. Think of it like resetting a system that has been overloaded for years. Sleep also plays a major role. Poor diet disrupts sleep quality, and poor sleep increases cravings the next day. This creates a loop of fatigue and poor choices. Breaking this cycle requires awareness, not perfection. Start by noticing patterns. When do you crave junk food most? Stress? Boredom? Habit? Awareness is the first step toward control. Then focus on replacement, not restriction. Replace processed foods with natural options that still feel satisfying. And most importantly, be patient with the process, because real change is not instant. It is gradual rewiring. Over time, something powerful happens. Food stops controlling you. Your mind becomes clearer. Your focus improves. Your emotions stabilize. And you realize something important. It was never just about willpower. It was about biology, environment, and design. So the next time you reach for junk food, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is this real hunger, or is this a signal that was trained into me? Because once you see the system, you are no longer trapped in it. You can choose differently. And that is where freedom begins. There is another layer that most people never consider, and that is identity. Over time, repeated food choices start shaping how you see yourself. If you constantly rely on junk food, your brain begins to associate comfort, reward, and even identity with it. You start saying things like, I cannot resist this, or this is just who I am. But in reality, it is not identity, it is repetition. And repetition can be changed. When you begin shifting your habits, even slightly, your brain starts forming a new identity loop. Small wins matter more than dramatic changes. Choosing water instead of soda once, or fruit instead of processed snacks, sends a signal to your brain that a new pattern is forming. The key is consistency, not intensity. Another important factor is emotional eating. Many people do not eat junk food because they are hungry. They eat it because they are trying to escape something. Stress, loneliness, boredom, or even overthinking can trigger the urge to eat. Food becomes a distraction from emotion rather than nourishment for the body. But emotions do not disappear when ignored. They return later, often stronger. This is why emotional eating often leads to guilt cycles. You eat to feel better, then feel worse after eating, which creates more stress, which leads to more eating. Breaking this loop requires awareness of the emotion itself. Instead of reacting automatically, pause and identify what you are actually feeling. That single moment of awareness creates space between emotion and action. There is also a social dimension to consider. In many environments, junk food is normalized. Friends, family gatherings, celebrations, and even workplaces often revolve around processed foods. This makes change more difficult because it feels like going against the norm. But awareness allows you to participate without being controlled. You can be present in social situations without letting every choice define your health trajectory. Over time, your taste perception also changes. Foods that once felt bland begin to taste richer. Natural sweetness becomes noticeable again. This is because your taste receptors and brain reward system begin to reset after reduced exposure to artificial intensity. This is not just physical change, it is sensory recalibration. Another hidden truth is marketing timing. Food companies often target you when your willpower is lowest. Late-night ads, convenience offers during busy hours, and emotional marketing during stressful global events are all designed to increase impulsive consumption. Understanding this does not remove temptation, but it removes illusion of randomness. You begin to see patterns instead of personal failure, and that changes your response. Instead of asking, why am I like this? You begin asking, what system is influencing me right now? This shift in thinking is powerful because it moves control from unconscious reaction to conscious observation. Eventually, you reach a stage where food is no longer an emotional decision. It becomes a practical one. You eat to fuel your body, not to manage your mood. That is the real transformation. And it does not happen overnight. It happens gradually through repeated awareness, small corrections, and patience with setbacks. Even if you fall back into old habits, it does not erase progress. It simply shows where the system is still strong and where attention is needed. The goal is not perfection. The goal is awareness with direction. Because once awareness becomes consistent, behavior follows naturally. And when behavior changes, everything else changes with it.